It's Cameron here from American Antiques and Jewelry, and today we're going to talk about pocket watches. So historically, pocket watches have been used for many different reasons, and that really kind of determines the quality of them. So they've been used for, like working man's pocket watch, to railroad, to just fancy occasions, and that all determines the quality of pocket watch. So, as we mentioned before with quality, we have three pocket watches in front of us here. This is going to be good examples of your working man's watch. On the right hand side here we have a dollar watch, so this is probably going to be the lowest end of quality. So interesting enough, historically this one was actually $1. Here are a few examples of some railroad watches. We actually have a ton of them. These would have been used on the railroad to keep time, so they're going to be more accurate, better grade movements. They range from anything from basically base metal like this one here to gold filled and whatnot. Moving up to a couple up here, these go past the railroad value. These even go into the fancy watch category, or the fancy occasion category. They just have more complications on them, even though they could have been used on the railroad. So, talking about the different quality and the different function of each watch, here in my left hand I have a hunter style pocket watch, which is actually based off of, or what our wristwatches are based off of today. And in my right hand we have a twin face pocket watch. So they use these a lot of times in the lower quality pocket watches. This one is actually a little bit better quality and it's a little bit fancier. The unique part about the hunter's pocket watch is it has a case that covers the face and the dial. So here are a few examples of the upper echelon of pocket watches. A few of them are American. Most of them are going to be Swiss, French, British. A lot of those, they just made basically pieces of art. A lot of these are going to be solid gold. Most of the names you aren't going to recognize. We actually have a Patek Philippe pocket watch, which they still make wristwatches today, so that's very, very interesting. And just overall, the build quality from 200 years ago, I mean, it's still today when it comes to Pateks. Moving on with the other fancy pocket watches here, they're all solid gold. They all have their own unique finish, all have their own unique touches. We have a repeater, which is a very interesting pocket watch. It's used basically by the upper class, so to speak. We have a pocket watch over here. I believe it's British. It has a very, very unique moral on the front. As we talked about the aspect of material, these cases are all made out of different materials. Mainly there's 3 or 4 different types of materials. We have anything from base metal, which you can see here in these 4 pocket watches here. Granted, the quality of the pocket watches differ, but the material is still very similar. Even though in this one looks different, this is just over base metal, it's gold tone. Moving on from that, we have gold filled material, so it's just 2 very heavy plates of gold over a base metal. That's why they look so good still compared to today's gold filled, so to speak. So this is really nice gold filled. It's today there are gold plated, jewelry, gold plated watches, and it wears away right away. These are guaranteed to wear for 20-30 years, and that was maybe 100 years ago. So it's very, very cool that this still hangs around. And then on the inside of the gold filled watches, if you see guaranteed or warranted to wear 20, 25 years, 10 years, 15 years, it will be gold filled, and that the reason it's on there is basically, from what it's saying, is to wear. So if you have it in your pocket, the plating will not wear off for 20, 25 years or however long is on there. Some of these pocket watches were actually made out of precious metals, including sterling silver like this one, and various carats of solid gold like these. besides cases for different materials, the movements are made out of different materials as well. When it comes to the movements, there are a few different parts that we like to look at: the demasking, the number of joules, and the complications. So the first part that we're going to talk about is demasking. Many people probably don't know what demasking is. Demasking with pocket watches is like a specific pattern that the machinist will cut into the pocket watches. They might put, they might actually put like a gold plating on the inside, near the letters and stuff like that, describing what the pocket watch is, or like the manufacturer. That's all plays a part in what the demasking is. It's mainly just the different patterns that they have, and there are tons of different patterns on the movement itself. So the second part of the pocket watch movement that we're going to talk about are joules and joule count. So what a joule is it's a little bearing made out of actual precious stones, so like a ruby, diamond, sapphire, something that's really hard that can take a beating and will not wear. That's why they call it joules. Basically, on the higher quality pocket watch movements, they're going to have higher joule count. So the third part we're going to focus on with movements are complications. No, complications aren't a bad thing. Complications actually make, like as the word says, the movement more complicated. So in a few watches we have here, in a few watches you'll see there's an up-down wind indicator. That's a complication, so it just tells you how much time you have left before you have to wind your watch back up again. And then another pocket watch that you've probably seen has a repeater on it. So what that does is when you move the slide, it will ring a bell on the inside telling you what time it is via the hour. Here at American Antiques and Jewelry, we have one of the largest selections of pocket watches in Wisconsin. Anything from, your daily pocket watch up to a formal occasion. So come visit us.